So once you've completed all the edits within our project in After Effects, now it's time to export. So we're going to show you a quick and easy way to export this if you're not really familiar with how to use After Effects. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your timeline down here is selected. So this probably says final version or something like that. So as long as you have this selected, you can see this little white line under here, and it has this blue line along the timeline. That means you're selected on it and it's ready to go. The next thing you want to make sure that you have set are these little blue brackets here. This is what's going to determine what is rendered out. So if I had this down here like this, then that means the very end of this will render out and nothing up here will render. So you do want to make sure that these are right where they should be. Most likely they're already set for the project, so you shouldn't have to mess with those. But if you did adjust those, just click and drag and set those where they need to be. So the next step would be to go to Composition and go to Add to Media Encoder Cue. If you click on that, then this is going to open up a separate program called Media Encoder, and this is probably already automatically downloaded to your computer with After Effects. And so this is going to be just another way to render without having to mess with After Effects and really take up After Effects' time, because now you can go back into here and keep working while it renders in the background. So Media Encoder opens up. This may take a minute or two depending on the size of the project, but this is what you should see once it opens up. And it may take an extra minute or two for this to pop in right here. So this is your queue, and this is what is going to be sort of the list that's going to be rendered out, and yours should pop in automatically once it opens up. So over here you have different formats you can export in. You can feel free to change these if you need to export in a certain version, but most likely H.264 is very universal and should be something you can use. Over here it probably says match source high bitrate, which again is very common and should be totally fine to use. So if you do need to go in here and change these settings around, you can. All you need to do is click on these blue words and it will open up a separate dialog box for you to make some adjustments. So once this opens up, yours should look like this. Now you can go into the video settings. If I was going to change anything, I may click on some of these maximum render qualities buttons here, render at maximum depth. You can change your bitrate. Really, this is the big one that you'd probably want to change. I'm just scrolling through this video tab here. But you could bump these numbers up maybe to somewhere in the 20s. That will be a pretty high bitrate. Just so that it's containing a lot of the information, especially if you're using a lot of dark tones and things like that. So again, the higher the number, the better. The lower the number, the more pixelated and grainy and rough it's going to look. So try to stay above these numbers here. You can also go into the audio and change things around if you need to adjust bitrate settings there, but all this should be good to go. So then you just hit OK, and you can go into the output file, click there, these blue letters here, and then tell it where you want to save it. So if you have a centralized project file you're using, this is where it's going to save to once it renders out. So you can change the name and then hit save. And so the final step is just going to be to hit this green play button over here. So once you hit this green play button, it will pop up down here and you'll see it sort of encoding and processing down here. So depending on your machine, if you're using a really powerful desktop, then it should go, maybe within 30 minutes or so, depending on the project. But if you're using maybe a laptop, be prepared to wait for a while. So maybe set this overnight or something, or over lunch or something like that. So once it's done, it will appear in the folder that you told it to, and you will be all set. So thanks a bunch. If you have any more questions, please let us know. Find us on our website, or you can email us at info@pixelpreacher.net. Thanks a lot.